Joining us now on the line, Lieutenant General Tom McInerney, U.S. Air Force, retired. General, good to have you on a day when very much what's going on in Syria seems to be dominating the news. How are you this morning, sir?
I'm doing great, Brian. Thanks for having me.
I got so many questions. I think, first of all, is this something we should be doing? Because I'm reading reports this morning that an attack against Syria is imminent, that commanders in the region are ready. They're just waiting on the green light, the thumbs up to go. We are talking about an attack that is being described in the Washington Post this morning as being limited in duration and scope. Is this something we should do?
I've got great questions about it, Brian, and it's really the right question to ask. First of all, I don't think we've identified the right rebellious forces to support. Currently, we are supporting General Idris, and who's the leader of the Supreme Military Council over there. But General Paul Valley, who you know well, just spent last weekend over there, and he came out and said that General Idris is supporting Muslim Brotherhood and other radical Islamist groups, and that Colonel Riyad, that's R-I-A-D, is the right Free Syrian Army group to support. So I'm in doubt on are we supporting the right people. Now, just to have a strike and throw in 100 to 200 cruise missiles at targets, it will accomplish something, but will it accomplish the right things? And
what is the goal here?
What's
the goal here, though? Is it to degrade the military, or is it just to do something because chemical weapons have been used?
I think it's the latter, and that's what's bothersome. Because once you start doing something, then there's more demand. Well, we need more targets to hit, et cetera. And so you have mission creep, as we're all familiar with. Mm-hmm. And I think the important thing is we have to have an objective. Is it just to improve the U.S. relationship that the president said would cross the red line? If you cross this red line, then we're going to respond. It has to be more than that. And clearly, let's make sure all our listeners understand this. We do not want U.S. boots on the ground. We do not want the U.S. involved in this Syrian rebellion that's going on, because we have proven that we can take regimes down in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we can do that rather quickly. What we have not proven is that nation building and winning hearts and minds in Muslim societies, that it works. In fact, we know that you don't win hearts and minds, and we definitely know that they do not want Jeffersonian democracies. And so with that background, you can then ask the right questions, which you did. What are our objectives? Is it to just hit the chemical weapon sites? They have a very sophisticated air defense system, 135 SAM brigades. They have over 500 fighters. It is very sophisticated, and you just don't throw a few missiles in there and say, slam, bam, thank you, man, we accomplished what we wanted. That is the disturbing thing, Brian.
Okay. Retired Air Force Lieutenant General Tom McInerney is our guest, and we're talking about the situation in Syria. And the reports are that the president is right now, Washington Post is reporting that he's planning on a 2-day attack. Just like it was a bad idea to sort of tell Afghanistan and tell the Taliban when we were going to leave, isn't it sort of a bad idea to tell people we're about to attack you, and by the way, it's only going to be 2 days? That's not a good strategy, is it?
That's not a good strategy at all, Larry, and that's what's bothersome. All these things that raise our profile, we throw a bunch of missiles in for 2 days, and then everybody gets back to what they're doing. So I think we need a good debate. I don't know why the president will do this without calling members of Congress back. He's got to get people engaged. There's no question there was a meeting the last couple of days in Jordan with the chiefs of the defense staff of the Brits, the Turks, the U.S., Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. So they're meeting, they're discussing this. Mm-hmm. The military is not enthusiastic about doing this, despite it being a horrendous attack on innocent people in the Baghdad, in the suburbs over there. And so that's the disturbing thing that in Damascus when this happened. But just doing something to do something isn't the right answer.
I wonder, though, I mean, is there another way of looking at this? And that is, okay, we've got to do something because we said we're going to do something, so we need to make a show of it. But while we're at it, why don't we degrade significantly Syria's ability to attack Israel?
Well, I think we ought to do that. Why don't we attack and decapitate Bashar al-Assad? Why don't we attack the IRGC forces there? Why don't we attack Hezbollah that are out of Lebanon there? Those are the right targets, and those are the right questions. Just throwing a bunch of missiles in on targets that are indescript doesn't make an impact that we're trying to do. So I think, Brian, you and Larry are asking the exact right questions. The president must feel, because if the Washington Post is leaking it, you know that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's real.
Yep.
But General McInerney, let me ask you this. You say, maybe decapitate Assad, let's go after the regime. The problem is you started this entire conversation by saying we're not sure who the rebels are and how they. We're pretty sure that at least one of the factions of rebels are affiliated with al-Qaeda. Others may be affiliated with the Muslim Brotherhood. If we take out Assad right now, that helps those groups. For all we know, the new regime in Syria could be an al-Qaeda regime.
Again, Larry, you're asking the right questions. The fact is that's what we do not want to do. We went through that exercise in Egypt, and fortunately the people rose up, and the army supported the people when they got rid of the Muslim Brotherhood. So that's what is so difficult to explain on the radio or to anybody, where you have these radical Islamist groups, al-Nusra, you've got Hezbollah, you've got the IRGC, you've got al-Qaeda, all intermixed with secular groups over there. And by the way, I think there are more secular groups, and secular in a Muslim country is a very loose term.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, I can see you doing the finger quotes in the air there. Thank you, General.
Yeah, you got it.
I got a couple more questions,
Right.
and that is, you say clearly we don't want boots on the ground. Everybody agrees on that.
Right.
Do we want aircraft over their airspace?
Well, yes, we may have to do that.
Well, I mean, but they've got a lot of anti-aircraft stuff, don't they?
Absolutely. 135 SAM brigades. They've got SA-2, 3, 6, 8, 5s, 10s, 22s. They've got 500 fighters that are modern, 21s,
So
23s, 25s.
This could be a
27s,
significant
29s.
Air Force or Navy aircraft engagement.
Well, yeah, look, we can handle that, but that means you've got to put a huge force in there to do that. And do we have the bases around the area to do that? The one missing country that bothers me is Italy. Italy's not in there. We need good intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. The Global Hawk high-flying unmanned drone is our best surveillance platform over there, but it comes out of an Italian air base.
Huh.
And so these are the considerations that we've got to get the right alliance. We need, clearly, Incirlik is the most important base over there in Turkey, and that is critical. The Turks are involved. That's important. But all these questions, if you're going to put aircraft over there, and we could put F-22s and B-2s, they're stealthy. They have a very high probability of success over there. They drop precision weapons, and they're larger than than the cruise missiles, and that's one of the limitations on a cruise missile. Normally, most of them are around 1,000-pound warheads. The Air Force has some on B-52s that are 3,000-pound warheads, but they don't have the punch that you need that 2,000, 5,000-pound bombs, or even the 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrator could use.
Well, thank you so much for giving us the lay of the land this morning. Lieutenant General Tom McInerney, always greatly appreciated. We hope you'll come back.
Thanks, Brian and Larry.
Lots of questions.
Oh, man, there's so many questions.